Hello, hello. Welcome to MVP. This is Season 10, Round 3, racing at Silverstone today. I'm going to be your host. My name's Mike, and we're waiting to see if we can get the founder of the lead. Here he is. How are you doing, Roy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. We due to set off soon?
Is the stream up yet?
Yeah, stream's up. We're rolling. We're live.
Didn't get the tag.
Do you want to check that?
Let me double check. 1 sec. YouTube.
So it could just be
got it.
Oh, you got it.
It's strange. She didn't ping.
You didn't get the notification. Yeah.
Oh. I'll just share it to a couple people and then let's say we can ready up.
Absolutely. How long have I got you for?
I told Sandra I'll give you like 5 minutes, then I can tell you the weather and everything.
Yeah, excellent. That'd be good. Keep everyone in the loop.
Exactly. Just write that we can ready up.
Yeah. You've got your duties to do.
Exactly.
Lots of them.
Alright, we have given the green.
Excellent.
You ready for the race?
I'm ready for the race as best I can be, doing this whole
Nice.
commentating gig. I think I introduced myself as like the host instead of commentator. I think commentator's a bit of a stretch, really.
Fair enough.
yeah.
I'd say the commentary last week was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun having Cam there. He can think so fast on his feet when he's watching the racing. So
Yeah,
I
he's very
really,
quick.
really enjoyed that.
It was
It
good
was
to
a
have
good laugh.
both of you during
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 2 points of view. Yeah, I'm hoping at some point soon to get Mark involved in this. He has
Yeah,
promised
that
to
would be
come and do a
nice.
bit of post-race analysis in the future, but just got to
Yeah,
pin him down on that. Yeah, yeah. I think he would
he can
actually
give.
sit and help host, but he doesn't have a game. He hasn't got the game, so
Yeah,
and he's
but
used all
I
his
guess
3 hours up.
even though it's a bit of a delay, I guess you could just watch your stream and enjoy
You
you
would have
for
thought,
PS
wouldn't you?
Party,
Yeah, yeah. You would have
and
thought.
then he
Yeah.
can give like his analysis during the race without having
Yes.
to be like super live.
Yeah. I'll just point out. Oh, look, someone crashed. Then Mark can talk about
Yeah,
it. That's it.
exactly. All right, let's see. 15 seconds.
How are you feeling about the track? Do you like
I
this
mean,
one?
I like the track, but
Yeah.
it's not my quickest one.
Right.
So I think it's going to be good racing. It just depends on the weather, I guess.
Yeah. Always a little bit hit and miss in at
Let's have a
Silverstone.
look. Looks
Oh.
like dry race. Dry race boats.
Really? So we've got dry
Yeah.
qualify, dry race. Everyone will be happy about that, I think.
Yeah, that
It's
should
hard
be
to
a
put
good
enough
starting
practice in
point.
for all the conditions.
Exactly.
So how are McLaren feeling overall?
I think we're fairly prepared for this. I don't think either Sondre or I is the quickest on this track, but we hope that the race itself is going to provide some chances.
Yeah. And what's your game plan? Have you got a game plan going in here to? As it's not your
Sondre is running.
strongest.
Yeah, Sondre is running quite a low downforce, so he's hoping
Right.
to make some moves on the straights.
Interesting.
I'm running a bit higher downforce, so I'm going to be a bit more dependent on a good qualifying.
Right. Wonder if this information will make it back to your competitors. It's too late now, isn't it?
Hopefully
They'll
not.
be committed. Well, yeah. Hopefully not. Maybe we should have waited till Park Ferme came in there.
Maybe I just spit out some fake news to throw them off.
Oh, yeah. Well, you never know either way. That's great. Well, I'll let you go focus, Roy, because I know what it's like when you're preparing.
Cheers.
So thanks for joining me and getting the ball rolling. And good luck for you and Team Papaya.
Thank you very much. See you later, man.
Cheers, man. Bye. So that was Roy. That's the league founder. He puts a lot of work into this, as you can imagine, and we all greatly appreciate it. And even though I'm not racing this season, I'm still putting in what I can because I feel like the league deserves a lot of energy. It's worth keeping going. So I think we've got to put the effort in there to keep it, even though not everyone's loving the 24 game. So we'll cut to the track somehow. Here we go. For Snoopy on an outlap. So a lot of the cars have gone out already. Quite eager, really, considering it's going to be a dry session. I would have thought that we want to get the track sort of worn in a little bit, get the rubber down, get the times, the delta up. But there again, sometimes it's nice to just get out on a clear track and focus, because that also can give you a lot more lap time. So Snoopy started his hot lap. Very careful through those corners. The car sounding maybe a little bit light on the rear end. And here he goes through Cops. A little bit wide on the apex. Maggots and Beckett's. Really nice, tidy, controlled movement there. A little bit of a swerve on the curb, but I don't think that'll lose him much time. Big braking zone here. Careful with the trail braking. Back on the power as soon as you can and into the final chicane. Always a tricky little number. Here in particular, really difficult to get traction and lose traction, in fact, without warning. And Snoopy sets the benchmark for the qualifying session. Now riding along with Dark Angel for Ferrari, teamed up with Smidge. Smidge, I feel like, has been around quite a long time in MVP. I should probably try and follow a little bit of his progress through the weekend, because I feel like I'm a bit out of touch with that. Meanwhile, the two Aston Martins have gone into the front two positions, closely followed by Chief, Strategist, and well, kind of deceitful driver here that might have given some misinformation about the setups of the McLaren, so that the rest of the field may be outmaneuvered tactically. So it looked like Sondre was on a slower lap. Roy, however, pedalled to the metal. Ooh, big lift. And it looks like he's backed out if in fact he was on a lap. Meanwhile, riding on board with Thomas straight into the pits, of course. And Techno improves his position up to 5th. Looking at time so far, there is a big gap between David in 1st and Techno in 5th. We're talking about nearly a second difference there. So I imagine that as people get more laps in, they're going to filter somewhere into that gap. It might just be that there's not too many people put together a solid lap yet, so we'll see. But I'd be very surprised if that's the pace difference. Army struggling for grip as he carries on what I think is another hot lap. Yep, and straight into 1st place. What a time to jump on board with Hammy. Well done. Anyway, yeah, so Silverstone. I've brought along some fun facts. So the first Grand Prix here was 1950. Track length 5.8 kilometres, and the fastest person around those kilometres was Max Verstappen in 2020 in the Red Bull at the time 1 minute 27. So Hammy has already beaten Max Verstappen's track record here. Most wins has been Lewis Hamilton, somewhat obviously I guess, and same for most pole positions. So there's a few interesting notes, and nice to see Lewis doing the country proud when he races here. One of my favourite drivers, much to some people's chagrin. Hammy having another crack. Try and get some of the and the full track map is enjoyed by some. So Hammy's backed out of his lap. We've got Smidge in 4th position now in the Ferrari, so his teammate still in the pits. There's still plenty of time left for getting some good laps in, so no one has to rush. And as I said, the track it's going to rubber in. It's going to get faster as time goes on. So let's see. But Smidge either in a rush back to the pits or have another go. He's at 1.5 seconds off the pace. So everyone just sort of cruising around at the minute. Snoopy looking edgy enough around that corner that he's on a hot lap, so we'll follow him round. He's already been shuffled down to P11, and I would expect that the Frenchman will improve. He's no slouch behind the electronic wheel of a sim race car. So only one driver yet to set a lap, that's Ethan. I believe he's currently leading the tables at MVP, in first position in the Drivers' Championship. Snoopy now. Can he improve at all? No, he's improved, but not enough. Going for another lap now. Oh wait, that probably was maybe a warm-up lap, so... Oh no, that was it. Unfortunately, Snoopy was not able to improve his position from 11th. So now, just when we thought first and second looked like it was going to be easily taken by the Aston Martin, looking like the strongest team, the two Williams, this year just absolutely on fire. I think they're going to be a real danger to Ethan, unless Supernova can get in the mix up there. Oh, he's taking plenty of curb and yellow flag, and oh, near spin and straight to the DRS sign. Not sure what happened there, but I think he was trying. Now, he's trying to get out of the way of other cars. He's got his teammate coming up behind. Is this a sneaky little tow we're going to get in here? No, I don't think so. Oh, hopped over the grass, unfortunately. You were being watched there, Roy. God, so a few things have happened there all at once. That'd be interesting to find out what that was. Techno sounds like he's motoring on. Straight into the final chicane. Oh, nice on the brakes. Looking to get down any amount of power that he can through the two short acceleration zones. And 7th place, Techno. Traffic coming out of the pits over there. Don't think that'll cause any issues. So here's a man that desperately wants to improve. We'll follow Dark Angel as he attempts to get himself up into the mix somewhere near his teammate Smidge, who's made it into 6th place. Oh, what didn't work for some reason? Sorry, Roy's just messaging me on I think on YouTube, and I'm getting the messages here. So, right. So are we live then, Roy? Seems like we're live. We've got 5 people watching the stream at the minute. Blowing it out of the park. But I suppose a lot of the guys that will want to watch this are currently trying to set a fast lap. Not least of which we've got Dark Angel on that very mission, looking to improve for Ferrari, get somewhere in the mix with those other paired up teams, Williams and Aston Martin. Let's see his delta as he goes into sector 3. He is 3/10 up looking to improve so far. That marginally puts him ahead of Thomas into 12th. Let's see if he can find another couple of tenths, 3 tenths more maybe, to take him ahead of 11th. This is a big ask, but it all depends on these last few corners. Looks tidy enough. Oh, improves by a second, slots into 11th and pushes Snoopy back down. Snoopy struggling. Both Alpine struggling, one not having even set a lap so far. So, we've got everybody back into the pit, all waiting for the last run. We've got Sondre still out, trying to improve. I mean, McLaren, considering that it's not their favourite track, I'd say they're doing pretty well. Oh, nice, really edgy there from Sondre, really pushing the boundaries. I say Sondre, I should be saying Swampy, I don't know. One of them, Swampy. Into the last chicane, takes a lot of curb, and I think backing out, recharging, and going again perhaps. Oh no. Oh, that was unfortunate. He did improve his time, but I feel like he lost a lot in that last chicane, so I could be wrong. Maybe it bounced him over the way he wanted to go, but it just looked like it could have cost him a bit of time in the last sector. I mean, he was going some. We'll watch Mamba on his outlap for now. Everyone else, I think, doing pretty much the same thing. Roy maybe got an early jump here. He's got his DRS open on a hot lap down here. And while Roy does his lap, we'll look at last week's incidents. We had an incident with Hammy and Thomas for a collision in T1. This was all in Monza. We had Josh and Process collision in the second chicane, and Unbeaten Sign with David, a collision at T1, and Swampy and Ethan collision T1. So what does that story tell you? Go steady into turn 1. And the results for that were Thomas was to receive a 5-second time penalty and a penalty point. Also same for Process, and David ultimately losing out. I'm sure everybody has an opinion on those incidents, but unfortunately it was the steward's opinion that counts, and I think those guys know what they're doing. At least lately, at least 3 of them do. So all good. Roy. Oh, nicely. Right. So Roy in 5th, Sondre 7th. These guys have continually improved. But, wow. So close between the top 4. But Mamba just finding a lump of time. And apparently on yet another hot lap. Just to really seal the deal here. He's up by just 1,000th of a second as he goes into the 3rd sector. Oof. So difficult to break into there. As you come up and over the hill, you lose a lot of traction. Plus you sort of turning, trying to brake. Again, takes a chunk of curb, and that wrecks Mamba's final attempt. So, there's David. Can he improve? He'll be looking at dethroning or depoling Hammy now at the top. And let's see, he is up 0.1 on his previous best. This could be enough to get him into the mix. No mistakes from here. Let's ride on board. No mistakes for David here, otherwise he just will not improve from where he is. He's got an error message in the way. No. Josh setting the fastest time. David then setting the fastest time, leapfrogging Aston Martin into first and second over the two Williams. That was a surprise. I thought the Williams had it. I thought Manda seemed really confident, only to be overthrown there as well by his teammate. Quite an interesting qualifying session. We've still got Ethan. Ethan now, I totally just caught that. Ethan just sneaks between the two just when we thought we knew what was happening. Trust this man to pull it out of the bag. I told you guys he was going to be dangerous. And 0.1 seconds, so 10th of a second behind David, narrowly in front of David's teammate, really bringing Mercedes into the mix. Supernova, unfortunately, only able to get there. Come on, Ferrari, says Dino. Actually, I'm rooting for Ferrari as well. I don't know why, but today I'm feeling Ferrari leaning. Hi, Dino, by the way. Hope you come back soon, mate. Want to see you in a car again. I'll take a quick break before the race starts shortly. The race will be starting any minute with no formation lap here at MvP. Opted not to go with it, I think, due to the glitches in the game from last year. So we'll wait for these lights and then it will be all go. Please don't expect a cam-like commentary from me because you won't get it, but I'll do my best to follow the action and keep you guys updated. Got a few people now joining the stream, potentially drivers looking for tactical advantages perhaps. I may or may not be able to help out with that. Certainly wouldn't follow me for tactical advice. So fascinating little gathering there on the side, and we're ready to go. 4 lights, 5 lights away. Can Ethan capitalise on that last minute push for second position? He's managed to keep in place, hounded by David's teammate Josh. Josh already having a stab into turn 1. Oh, and contact. I think it was just enough to push Josh's rear end out. It'd be interesting to see if there are any issues raised from that. But Ethan is under a lot of pressure here. Josh really looking to capitalise on his choice of soft tyres. So obviously we've got the 2 Aston Martins, both running softs. Interesting when let's see what everyone else is running, but we've got Ethan on the medium, so he's going for something totally different here. Let's have a look at the tyres. We've got a big mix. It looks about 50-50, even not slightly more on medium, so Josh really needed to get out ahead on those softs, and he has done that. So this will be interesting. I don't know what the pit stop sort of strategies are going to be here. I would assume a 2-stop if we're going between mediums and soft, so let's see what people make of it. "26 laps, got Josh all over the back of David. I think he'll be putting in a call to the Aston Martin team and asking for permission to get by, because you know he's putting a lot of pressure there. He'll want to make a gap. In fact, it would probably benefit David to let him through if he's carrying this much more pace, and follow his teammate in his DRS. Josh now capitalising on the DRS. David holding position, not swamped by Ethan, and the two cars have done a position change. I wonder if that was discussed between the two drivers. There's always a chance. So now let's see what happens. Is David going to be able to stick to the back of his teammate, get pulled along? Here we go. So some possible race strategies: one stop from soft to medium, and you could probably invert that, and another one medium to hard. So it looks like it is just a one stop. So it's all a case of when you cross over on these tyres. I think some of the guys running softs early on, curious with the heavy fuel load, but with running the softs early on, if there's a safety car, then of course then generally you've got the harder tyres to take you into the later stages of the race. On the flip side, that safety car doesn't have to come out at the beginning of the race. There's an element of a lot of safety cars can happen in the middle of the race where people let their attention drop for a second and just make a mistake. But right now everyone's spreading out quite far. Not too much going on. Oh, apart from here, something big's happened. We've got a yellow flagged. I can't see who's had the most drama, but certainly looks like one of the McLarens. It's Sondre. He is back down in 12th. I think something's happened here. We'll keep an eye on these guys. There must be a bit of something a bit frisky going on. Ethan, meanwhile, closing up on David, it seems. Luckily, David's able to utilise his teammate slipstream and his DRS. This is why you need both cars up there. You need the ability to put pressure on, and obviously I don't think pit stops will come into it from a strategic point of view, but you always have that opportunity to send one car in early for an undercut and take the other one longer, and maybe on the slight chance of an overcut. Meanwhile, Ethan slotting himself narrowly into second place. Wheel-to-wheel contact twice. It looked like both cars nearly came off. This is getting very, very dodgy. Ethan bumped quite literally back into third position. I don't know who was bumping who there, but no one wanted to give an inch. Ethan looking really strong now. Are the soft tyres going off? I'd be really interested to see the tyre information. I think that I think the mediums are better than the softs. It looks like it's happening, but I honestly don't know, DNA mate. It's difficult to know, isn't it? We will see. With this high fuel load, I'd expect the softs to go off pretty quickly. But again, the cars have found a balance, so maybe I was wrong. Could have been wrong with that. Hammy all over the back of Ethan. This is very close. The top four. Oh, Ethan throwing it down the inside here, looking to late brake on Josh, who had to brake early because David braked early. Contact again. And he lets the two Williams slip past. This is a bit of a disaster, and I do not think Ethan and Josh are happy with each other at all. I have a feeling there's going to be some words about this. Unbelievable. So Ethan now bumped down to 5th as the two Williams slip in front. All of that battling has cost so much time. Or cost Ethan so much time, certainly. And the Williams really capitalising here. So the two guys on the soft tyres still holding strong, maintaining a decent gap. But when are these mediums going to come into the fold? We're only 4 laps in so far, but the soft's still going strong. So take the tyres off for a bit, and it would be nice to see the penalties. It's Josh with a 3-second penalty. The penalty that would probably be corner cutting as he runs wide on Cops, I think it was. These three swapping, changing positions. Aston Martin, Williams, ditto again, all within a second. First to 5th position within a second. Roy then sort of the start of the next DRS train, if you like. He's got Supernova putting a move on him. Ooh, no can do. Roy does drive a particularly wide car, I will say that. I've been in a lot of battles with that man, and he is not easy to overtake. Not dirty, not most of the time, but yeah, he definitely makes you work hard to get around. Snoopy, he's come up a few positions, didn't have the best qualifying, but getting nicely in the mix of that second DRS train. We've got Ethan now. These guys at the front just really going at it. Hopefully, I hope tempers aren't too high, because I think this will be really enjoyable to watch these 5. And I just don't want any silliness really, because and the Williams into first. That's the medium tyre runners now. Are they starting to find some speed? Oh no, and we've got Mamba flown off at the corner. Was there some contact there? That was just manic. Aston Martin, both of them, God, still holding the fort up front, but what on earth happened behind that? Unbelievable. Ethan now 2.3 seconds behind. Roy only 1.2 behind, bringing along the rest of the pack. We're going to have all the cars finishing very close together if this race carries on like this. We've got Josh again behind David. Ethan now 3 seconds of drift. He could have damage. There was a lot of contact. Something had really gone a bit wrong there. And Roy, what was that? Was that a brake locking up, or did he go on the grass? He's now right behind Ethan. So Ethan obviously carrying some sort of damage. He started on the mediums. He will not be wanting to pit right now if he's got damage on his wing. That is a shame. So Supernova, however, his teammate, what a great effort. I assume we've not had any pit stops yet. So yeah, we've had Techno with 1 stop, and he is, well, quite far behind there, even far more than 1 pit stop's worth, unfortunately, in last position. And Roy now having a go at Ethan, running through Maggots and Beckett. So we think Ethan might be carrying some damage there to his wing. Yes, certainly missing an end plate. And Roy carrying the speed, easily enough speed to take Ethan down here. Doesn't even need to defend. And he will go about securing this position. A nice position for Roy to be in, actually. Clear track ahead. A bit of pressure from behind to give you an old hurry up, but ultimately this is a good time for Roy to settle in and get his head down and maximise the time for each lap. So I assume, what has happened here? Right, I think there's certainly, well, Mamba, is he coming through? I think he's coming through some of the slower guys. But this position changes all the way down the grid. Embiid Prime. For Alpine having a better day than they were having, with one of the cars now in the points. much better showing in the race and qualifying. I don't know if that's the setup thing or if there's been that much drama in the race that we'll see. In fact, next time we have an incident we don't see, I'll try and have a look at it in the recordings. Smidge now, so here we go for Ferrari. We talked about putting eyes on Smidge in this race. He has come up to 6th, putting pressure on the Mercedes of Supernova. And they're not too far behind Roy. So there's a chance here for Ferrari, who I'm backing for this weekend. There's a chance for Smidge to really improve his position twofold, or twice over, to get in front of Supernova and Roy. He looks like he's got the pace. He's all over the back of Supernova. Both cars. Oh no, so we've got Supernova on the soft, Smidge on the yellows. So do you know that might be an answer to your question? Lap 9, sounds about right, does it? Williams, Red Bull having a little battle. Mamba, really unfortunate for him. Oh, nearly loses the back end. Really unfortunate for him how he's ended up misplaced. I hope it wasn't through any dirty driving or anything that's caused all this. But yeah, it certainly looked like the Williams could have taken this race for a time there. Mamba especially looking especially fast. But Hammy he's sailing off into the distance now with a 7 tenths lead over second, so not sailing off far enough to get out of DRS. Got another position change. Mamba, Thomas. So these guys are actually going at it. I thought Mamba was on his climb back up into the top positions, but Thomas in the Red Bull giving him a good deal, good amount to deal with. So the top 5 cars, as it was, now only 3, all close together, and then that little gap to Roy. The more interesting one is here, isn't it, in the mid-pack? So everyone behind Roy, Supernova, Smidge, and Snoopy, Mamba, Thomas, Sign, Sondre, Prime. We've got all of these guys really in contention to do quite well here. Mamba's picking up a penalty, but a lot of these guys have a position here. There's a good fight for good points, all the way up to 5th. Really, you know, anyone could have this if they could get their pit stop right. Not lose too much time going into the pits, coming out of the pits, or indeed having to repair damage and everything else. I suppose. Oh, we've got Josh into the pits, so he's thinking lap 9's the time to come in. David's staying out. Be interesting to see, because these guys were very close together. So let's see the time difference on the undercut. Josh obviously having pitted now. Good stop, as you'd expect from computer-generated people. And off goes Josh. Look how close the field's together. I mean, usually this far into the race, the top guys, they usually have a sizable gap, but this race has been kept quite close together. And I feel like I'm saying close together a lot. So we've got Ethan also pitted. He's gone for the hards. Now, so has Techno. Josh opting for mediums. That's right. The 2 Aston Martins started on the soft, so yeah, Josh, of course, on the mediums. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out, because Ethan maybe is coming, I think, a little bit earlier. Yeah, so he's come in earlier, and it'll be interesting to see how that pans out between the medium and the hard. Obviously, the medium should be quicker at first, and we've got a safety car. Probably happened ages ago, missed that, but here we are in the safety car. Unfortunately, it looks like something Techno's been involved in. I'm not sure where the incident happened. I think, we've got it here. Sector 2 looks like Maggots and Beckett, so maybe Techno has slid that away and binned it into the barriers potentially. So, some information here on the winners and losers from qualifying. Got Hammies up 3 positions, David down 1, Roy up 3, Smidge up 4, Supernova up 5 from 10th to 5th. Oh, they're shuffling around the positions here as everyone goes in the pits. And we've got this Ethan somehow straight down to last position. But is this going to benefit him? He's swapped. He swapped from the hards back to the medium. So was that a mistake? I have no idea. I don't know why he has done that. I'm sure he went onto the hards and then now on the mediums. So maybe not liking the feel of that tyre and taking the opportunity to swap tyres. Either that, potentially he's had some damage that he wants to fix. But that's not great for Ethan. He's going to join the back of the queue, and I think everyone is done with pitting, unless they miss the pit exit. But yeah, so let's see what everyone does. So Roy, Smidge, Supernova, Sign, Mamba, Thomas, Sondre, Prime, Dark and Ethan all having pitted, well, the whole field pretty much having pitted now for a different set of tyres. So some people obviously think the softs will go to the end. Mamba, Sign, Thomas included, Hammy also. They're going to try and push the softs right to the end, and or they're expecting another safety car, particularly after the restart of this safety car, because that can happen. You can quite often get incidents on the safety car restarts. So while the safety car goes round, I'm just going to take a little break and I'll be back with you for the restart. So it looks like quite a long safety car period so far. We watching Hammy there, he's warming up his tyres, getting ready to go potentially. We sneak a little bit of telemetry onto the screen, not that we can see a lot from that. Especially these days with the throttle and braking, it's a lot harder to see what people are inputting there, but I think anyone watching can see this. So if we go through the grid, just so it's all even, everyone at 100% on their ERS, all charged up, ready to go. Safety car flashing, looks like it's going to restart now. Meanwhile, just notice there, Ethan resting his foot on the brake pedal lightly there. probably to try and get a bit of heat up into the brakes, into the tyres, so he can hurtle through the grid. And tactic shared by Sign there and Supernova. So here we go, getting ready, coming out of the final corner any second. Hami has chosen to go now. He's gone right in the traction zone and gained a good 0.4 of a second over David, which is great because it'll stop him getting in the slipstream. Nice and tidy restart from Hami, taking it away on those stops. He really needs to pull a gap. He needs to pull our gap and in out of DRS. Utilise those tyres now, I would say. I don't think they work the same way they do in Formula 1, where you've got to really nurse them in. But yeah, Hami doing a great job so far. 7/10, nearly 8 out of the back so far. David trying his best. Josh all over the back, giving him the hurry up once again. David's charging. Josh is probably deploying. He is. No, that's just a mild bit of VRS usage there. And Smidge really going for it. And turns out I mistook where the brake was on telemetry, but there you go. Thomas back in the mix again with Supernova, right up his rear. One stop apiece for everyone except Ethan, who weirdly moved from the hards onto the medium. Some of the guys, having committed to the hard, seem happy. Smidge, obviously Ferrari, we're trying to follow a bit today. His teammate Dark Angel down in 14th. Both on the hard tyres, these guys. Josh and David still battling it out here. I don't think they're going strategically using team orders. I think if they were, they'd put Josh back out like he was before, try and drag him along towards Hami. Not saying David's slow by any stretch, but Josh certainly looking very confident behind David, and also carrying the penalty, so it would make sense to invert these two drivers, especially unless Josh is thinking he can get that removed, and David is aware of it. Mamba Smidge also with penalties, but now bringing up the next 5. Roy somehow shuffled down. Is there something in the pit stops? Has he boxed early and had some sort of issue due to the safety car? He's down, and Swampy as well in the McLaren not having a great day. Maybe they were right, maybe Roy was right, maybe it wasn't all some elaborate hoax. Maybe in fact they really don't like Silverstone. We've got Sign pushing hard on back of Mamba, or having just been overtaken, one of the two. Two Mercedes now in 9th and 10th, still in the points, not too bad, but I'm sure they would rather be much higher than that. Ethan, I think, some disaster or another with his tyre, maybe damage, who knows, but that is a lot of points to potentially lose out on this weekend when he is narrowly leading the MVP championship. Ethan on the medium tyre now, kind of proving that it was maybe the right thing to do in a way, as he goes sailing past the inside of his teammate. Very compliant with that was Supernova. Toto Wolff of Italy having some involvement, and we've got Ethan around Snoopy as well, absolutely on fire. Next in line is Roy, striking distance soon. And Sign in the mix nicely up there. Smidge 6th place, but carrying some penalty. How much? We don't know. 3 seconds, so I don't know. Hopefully this can be removed. I mean, penalties really stuck, and obviously with the whole real life F1, it's just a bit of a bummer when this is decided by a time penalty, because it's hard to quantify the advantage gained from the few mistakes that you needed to get a penalty. So I hope that made some sense. Mamba pushing hard for third position and takes it away from David Depay up into third. What a comeback, by the way, from being way down the grid and from the safety car. Ever since the safety car, really clawing his way up quickly. That's on the soft tyre, of course. So, as we know, I think the soft tyres go off around lap 9, maybe lap 10 now with the lighter fuel. And it's interesting that these guys will have bad tyres in 4 laps time with only another 5 laps to go in the race. That's so probably not, but something like that. And Mamba, Josh at it again. Really, I think it would be Ethan and Josh that have had the hardest battles throughout this race. So the guys now coming up to Cops. Josh right behind Mamba, flowing through to Maggots. No, totally wrong, sorry. Wrong place of the track, I confused myself. So, that's the Wellington Straight, I believe. Is that right? No, the Wellington Straight goes into a left. Yeah, that's right. So, I will try and learn my corners better next time, but this is definitely National Pits Straight, apparently. Going into Notorious Cops. Ironically, that one's not called Hamilton Straight, but maybe it should be. Considering what happened at the end of the straight. Meanwhile, Josh gets a bit messy. David slips into third. So these guys really having a good battle. The two Aston Martins having a great battle with each other. And David now a man on fire, or a man possessed. He's all over the back of Mamba. Obviously David having lost 2 positions to get him into this one. Let's have a look. I won't talk about the DRS situation right now because that would be telling. But let's say David's pushing quite hard. And here he goes again, giving it everything to stay on the back of Mamba. Mamba kind of just comfortable, not really feeling the pressure, holding his own there. Obviously feeling comfortable he can keep pace ahead of David today. Really interesting to have 4 guys at the front of the grid that are all so close together. 5. I mean, we've got just a good bunch in general. It's anyone's race each time we get the League of MvP together. David flying around the outside of Mamba into second position. A long way up the road though is his teammate Hammy. And with all the pressure from Mamba, it would be unlikely, I think, that David can break away and really take it to them, but who knows, because soon enough these soft tyres will have done the 9 to 10 laps that we think that they go fast. At that point then David should have the remaining laps at a much better pace, so that will be interesting to see how it goes. Josh bringing the rear gunner position, almost quite literally ramming his way through, but he's doing well, this Josh. Doing really well in this race. Wow. All three of them together. The Aston Martin doing their best to box in Mamba. But he is still pushing. This is really tight racing. Really good. And all keeping it really clean. This is a good amount of skill here. Oof, David goes on recharge. Meanwhile, Mamba strikes. Oof, strikes quite hard there. Just coming up into the final chicane. So this is the corner Aintree, which brings you on to Wellington Straight. Some great battles down here, great overtaking spot potentially. And overtaking their way to the top two spots are the Williams, Hammy, Mamba, followed up by David and Josh. But really, the biggest winner so far as we come into lap 21 is Sign. 10 positions up from 15th, I believe. But what a drive for the Haas man. Wow, really well done. Smidge having shuffled down, been shuffled down to 7th by presumably Ethan coming back through. We've got Mamba and Josh at it. Somehow Mamba and all of that's dropped down 2 positions into 4th. This is great. It's two cars from each team really going at it tactically, thinking about it like a chess game, keeping their tyres from wearing too much. Hammy still holding the lead on the soft tyres, but David and Josh now through Mamba. Lap 10. We said that potentially lap 9 or 10 on the tyres could have been the changing point, and here we are. The medium guys are holding strong, so that leaves this lap and 3 more like it for the 2 Aston Martin to hunt down the 3.1 second gap to Hammy in first. So we'll keep an eye on that already coming down into the 3.0s. This is who can keep their head on the shoulders and not feel the pressure. Hammy holding strong, taking it to 3.2 now, really pulling it out of the bag. I'll jump on board with him for a second because he'll be really pushing but trying not to make any mistakes. It's such a fine balance. Into the last chicane, nice and tidy through there. Clawing more and more time out of these tyres. That is surprising. We thought with everyone swapping at sort of lap 9 that there must have been a bit of a drop off, but Hammy just absolutely flying, carrying so much pace around here. I don't know what's happening. Has the setup just come to him? Has he looked after the tyres better? Who knows? Meanwhile, David and Josh really at it. Excuse me. Oof. David really defending hard, but you know it's costing them a lot of time. It's silly. They should just decide who's going first. Probably Josh, because he's carrying a penalty, and just let him go. He could get up there, pull David along, and then you can all have his shoot out at the end for first instead of second. But in my view here, there's a bit too much messing around between teammates that's costing a lot of time when they could be using the tyre advantage to take first place. Meanwhile, Mamba looking to get back into the mix. All he has to do at this point is, oh no, he's got 3-second penalty as well. So actually, Sign, he's right all over this bunch. Well, we can have an unexpected Haas on the podium. This would be interesting. This would be really interesting. Shame it's not Smidge, because we really wanted something good from the Ferraris today. Points is good, don't get me wrong, but maybe those hard tyres weren't the best choice. Maybe he lost something in the pits, but it would have been nice to see Smidge up there. Meanwhile, Josh and Mamba back at it again. We have got everybody tuning in now. We've got a big battle here for third and fourth between Josh and Mamba. Sign looking to get into the top four. Wouldn't it be incredible if he could take both of them while they're all scrapping between themselves? This is a lot of what's gone wrong here for a lot of guys. They've lost positions through probably some needless fighting, but a racer is a racer, and try telling them otherwise. You want to win every single corner, and sometimes it's hard to see what it's going to take to win the race. But if anyone knows, it's these fast five, sorry. So that Haas still hounding the back of Josh. Is that allowing Ethan to catch up? Yeah, he's able to. He's pulling some time out of that bunch as well. And realistically, there's two guys carrying penalties ahead, so there is a chance that before all is said and done, Ethan might just slip up a couple of places if he can get his foot down. He's got 2 more laps. Well, this and 2 more. So, that's 24 out of 26 laps. Sign going hard again. It'd be interesting to see these guys using pretty much the same amount of ARS, both having the same ideas. Ethan not getting much closer, but here we go. Riding on board with Sign, who I believe has come up yet the 10 places. Sign coming up 10 places and wanting yet more. Somehow making these soft tyres last, so it looks like the softs had quite a bit more life in them. I wonder if some of the guys were forced to pit a bit earlier from the mediums due to the safety car, a bit earlier than they would have liked, but either way, yeah, maybe the softs just going off a bit now, struggling to catch Josh just like he has been. And I spoke too soon again, really tidy out of Chapel, I believe it is. Oh, taking a real narrow dive to the side. Josh keeping it really clean but with inches. Oh dear, that's it. Josh hit the back wheel. Was that Sign coming over, or was he forced over by the grass? Was Josh. Oh, what a disaster for these two guys, as one car is recovered by the crane, and damage to the wheel. Absolutely binned it into the barrier, has Josh. Well, through contact, so we'll have to see what happened there, but such a shame. Sign having come up 10 positions to 5th, now out of the race. Was he too ambitious? I would have done the same thing, so potentially it is too ambitious, but he'd have got to have a go. You know, that could have been a real memorable race, that, having come from 15th up to 4th and maybe even having a stab at the podium. So, I mean, these guys were just doing the best they could. I noticed that Josh was generally keeping it tight but clean ultimately, so it'll be interesting to see the outcome of that investigation. I will have a close eye on that. I can't, it all happened too fast to make the call just now though. So, as the race shakes out, the two Williams lead the way. David still close but unable to make much of an impact on his last chance now. Late dive maybe? No, nothing doing into the final chicane. Last lap we get Hammy, comes over the line, little weave, flies past his mechanics to say thank you very much. David slips into second. Mamba down due to his penalties. So that's first to Hammy, second to David, third to Ethan. So well done everyone. Smidge actually, when all said and done, up to fifth. Great result then for the Ferrari driver, the top guy on the hard tyres. So I think there was a lesson there. Softs and mediums next time would probably be more beneficial. So I hope someone caught the results there. Driver of the day according to the game was Snoopy. If he hadn't have binned it, the driver of the day for me would have been Sign, actually. Real shame, that big coming together with Josh there. Shame for both of them, because both, till that point, have put up a great race. Got the guys on the podium now, so we'll check the final results. Quickly go through that, then I'll be signing off, because I haven't got time to hang around tonight, unfortunately. But we've got Hammy, first place. Great drive from him, great qualifying. Same for David, finishing second place. Ethan, after being all the way down at the bottom of the grid, makes it back up into third, allows him to keep somewhere in the championship now. So I'll check the points, but he might still be leading. So after that, we've got Mamba and the other Williams. So unfortunately, it was Aston Martin. Looked like they would have had the top two in, but didn't. So following on from Ethan, we had Mamba in fourth, Smidge in fifth, Supernova sixth, Snoopy is seventh, Roy and Sondre finishing line astern 8th and 9th, Dark Angel in 10th, Prime in 11th, Unbeaten Sign 12th, Unlucky for Josh 13th, Mrs. Fam 444, and Thomas DG 14th, and Techno 15th. And that wraps up Silverstone. I will endeavour next round to come at you with some more information about how the incidents panned out and what that meant for everyone. But until then, guys, have a good one.